Oh, how we going, guys? Live on Hoggs Vlog. Sorry we're a little bit late, but there was a bit of a technical problem going through the internet, so we've just sorted that out. And yes, there was a couple of people there that were saying, let's get going. So I'm not going to waste anyone's time because you have been waiting. Thanks for waiting for so patiently. But Delhi Capitals, they lose another close one that they should have won, and RCB at the top of the order. I can't believe this at the moment. RCB at the top of the order. Let's get on with the show. Roll bumper, please, Shubs. Okay, just a couple of things that I was very impressed with last night. First talking point, Avish Khan picks up Virat Kohli. I absolutely love this fast bowler. I think he's the bee's knees. I think he'll be playing for India sooner than later. I love his attitude. The way his expressions were after he got Virat Kohli, he just looked at him and he was pumped and he just loved that particular wicket, and he wasn't overawed about bowling to someone of the capability and the hype of Virat Kohli. He was in the contest. And the way that he finished off the innings as well with some beautiful death bowling, I thought he was fantastic. Now we'll move right on to the next one. Mohammed Siraj last night, he didn't have the best of nights early on, but I just loved the way that he finished in that final over. He would have been under a lot of pressure. He would have been expecting to do a lot better than he did early on with the early overs that he bowled. He got a little bit of punishment in the power play. There was a little bit of luck didn't really go his way as well, but he just kept good heart, good concentration, and executed prominent Yorkers. The leg side Yorkers to Hetmeyer and then going wide to Pant, knowing that Pant's strong on the leg side. Great planning, great execution. And these two fast bowlers that I've just mentioned, India, have got a good future of fast bowling coming out of the woodwork there. All right, Shaw and Pant. Okay, you're not going to be happy with me in this particular scenario, but this is where Delhi Capitals lost the game. Poor fielding, and these two actually, the running between the wickets when they were together. If you look out the whole game, both teams scored the same amount of fours. Both teams scored the same amount of sixes. But running between the wickets was the difference, and RCB did it better than the Delhi Capitals, and these two were probably the biggest culprits of poor running between the wickets. But the fielding, let's go through this. Ricky Ponting won't be happy about this. Which one have you got first up for me, Shubs? Yes, Rishabh Pant keeping. He's not anywhere near the stumps right now as they run first. Next slide, please, Shubs. But fielder gets to the ball. He's still nowhere near the stumps. And they're coming back for the second. Next slide, please, Shubs. And he's still not there. He's not even thinking about getting behind the stumps. He's thinking about getting in front of the stumps. Look how far the batsman is out of his crease. Next slide, Shubs, please. All right, there we are. He is in no position behind the stumps. Right, back to me, Shubs, please. Right, as a keeper out in the field, you have to be behind the stumps when there's an opportunity of a run out. In fact, all good teams that I've been with, the keeper creates the energy getting up behind the stump so that you've got a target to throw to. There was an easy run out there, and that partnership there, Padita and AB de Villiers, was the difference in the match. 54 runs off 38 balls. And mind you, there was only 5 dot balls in that innings, and that run out could have changed the whole game. And I just want to make special mention before we get on the shore. Padita, what an innings last night. He only had 2 dot balls throughout that 30-odd that he made with an innings of 22 balls. RCB, people were talking about finding a number 3. Well, he's the number 3. Okay, I just want to have a quick look at Shaw's fielding. Here we go. This is in a dominant position, or in a position where Delhi Capitals really needed some energy in the field. There's the ball just in front of him, and he's just standing there. He's not even reacting. Where is the ball or anything like that? And he just lets it go past him. There is no movement, no reaction whatsoever. Now, for an international cricketer or a promising international cricketer who wants to play for India where the standard of fielding has lifted, he's got to lift those standards. He can't be sitting there and just looking like that as though he's not interested. I was very disappointed in those two particular players last night with those two efforts, and Ricky Ponting will be looking at that. I know that because one thing with him, playing under him as captain, it was all about fielding. If you don't put in an effort, he doesn't want you there next week. So he'll be having a word to those two people. Okay, that's my little rant with Pant and Shaw. They are fantastic talents, but you've got to pick up the little weaknesses and be a little critical when they're not lifting, because that could cost you a T20 World Cup, India, if those little things start creeping in. All right, let's go to the teams tonight. Okay, I think we've got CSK up first. Let's have a quick look at CSK. I'll be trying to get Ngidi in there for Bravo. I want to keep Tahir there. The reason why I want to get Ngidi into the team, because it will be a fresh wicket tonight. And out Delhi, there might be a little bit of extra bounce as well, but just in case there's no extra bounce, you've got the leg spinner in there as well. And the other reason why I'd bring Ngidi in there, Ngidi wouldn't be batting in front of Curran, mind you, is that the top 7 have been delivering with the bat. So you don't really need to rely on your number 8, 9 and 10 to make some runs. And you've got Thakur down there as well at number 8 that can make some runs. Okay, let's go to the playing 11 for Hyderabad. This is a big one. Pandey's got to go in. Singh's got to go out. 4 or 14 balls, whatever it was the other night, was not good enough. They dropped him for a slow run rate, but Pandey in that middle order creates a little bit of more solidarity about it. Plus, he's a genius in the field. I'd have Sachin in down out the bottom as well, and Boovi would come back into that team as well. So I think the Sunrisers Hyderabad are looking a little bit more balanced there. The matchups tonight, who have I got as the matchups for these two teams? Munish Pandey obviously coming back in adds that depth to the batting. But the opening bowlers are Chahar and Sam Curran up against Warner, Bairstow and Williamson. That top 3 will make the difference who's going to win and lose tonight. I'm backing the bowlers. I'm backing CSK to make another brilliant performance. And I'm thinking Gaekwad, I think he is going to be the bee's knees tonight, and he'll be the leading run scorer. I'd like to see how he goes against the swing of Bhuvneshwar Kumar and see how he's advanced in that aspect. That's what I'm looking for tonight. Got it done in 7:30. We're under pressure here because we're a little bit late, so well done, George. Paul Jefferson, how you going? Thanks for that little contribution of 100 Rand. Rupee, sorry. Hi, sir. Paul from India. How you going, Paul? Curran should bat above Dhoni. Please explain bio bubble. If today super over, Bairstow should come in unlike the other day. Well, super over, if it gets to there, Bairstow's got to come in. He's probably been one of the most prominent openers in T20 cricket or white ball cricket around the world over the last couple of years, and he's one of the big reasons why England are having a lot of success in white ball cricket. So for me, you've got to go with that explosive player. Bairstow's the one. They might have been just thinking that Williamson might have been a better player against spin, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You go with the bloke that opens the batting and does the job well. So I agree with you there. The bio bubble basically means that players are under scrutiny. They're under restrictions where they can go, when they can leave the hotel, what areas of the hotel they can go into, when they can have breakfast, when they get on the bus. They've got to be in certain protocol there where no one is near the bus. So there's a lot of security there. And when you get to the ground, there's certain people that have been arranged to be in the ground where they've been tested. They've been in quarantine. This is a staff out the ground where they're living in that bio bubble as well. So you can't have contact with anyone outside of that particular people that you're in here. So this little piece of bubble here, this is my bubble. You can't be within a couple of 100 metres from it at least. So that's the bio bubble. India, Curran should bat above Dhoni. If there's spin, yes. If it's pace, the way that Dhoni started to look the other day, I'd be thinking that if there's limited spin to come in, I'd have Dhoni going in front of Curran now, because Dhoni is starting to find a little bit of form. But Paul, A couple of days ago or a couple of games ago, I would have just about said Dhoni is nearly finished, but I just saw glimpses of his best last game. So don't write him off yet because he's a fighter, and he'll be proud as punch of his performances. He won't want to let that team down. He won't want to let his reputation down as well, so he's got a lot to play for. Cotter, how you going, mate? Hi, Hoggy. Hi, you. Why do you think that some young bowlers like Harshal, Avish and Arshdeep have become strike bowlers for their IPL teams ahead of senior bowlers like Rabada, Cummins and Shami? Well, they've had to work a lot harder. They have to be adaptable as well. And the one thing that I've really liked about these three particular bowlers, if the ball's not swinging, they go to the different variations. And what I've actually seen from these three players, it looks as though they have been working extremely hard on developing their skills. It's just not something that they're going to just out the last minute because they're under pressure. They're actually executing each delivery, each variation that they bowl, close to perfect. I think they'd probably execute around about 90% of the time the balls that they want to deliver, where they want to deliver it. So for me, it's hard work. It's knowing that they've got limited opportunities, knowing that it's a hard world to stand up to in Indian cricket with limited opportunities, and there's limited spots as well. And for Harshal Patel, this could have been his last opportunity. Remember, he's picked up more wickets in this IPL than his last 5 IPLs together. So that just tells me that he's worked hard out his game and moved forward. Avish, quick bowler, good bounce, good aggression. Love it. Arshdeep, he looks for a bit of swing early. If it's not, then he goes to his variations. These guys, the future of Indian fast bowlers is looking really good. Rabada, Cummins and Shami, I think I'm going to get on the back of Shami here too. I've got to on the back of Pant and Shaw. Shami looks as though he's put on a little bit of weight since that tour of Australia, since his injury. So it doesn't look as though he's looked after himself as well as he should have. So he's got a bit of fitness to work on to get back to his best. Cummins, I don't think he'll play the next game for KKR. I think they'll have to bring in Ferguson. He's just too expensive, not getting the breakthroughs and not finding the spots. And Rabada, I think Norkie's got to come in for him as well because, both Cummins and Rabada aren't living up to their reputations, both in the power play overs and the death overs. I think Norkie's a better option for Delhi Capitals moving forward. Good question there, Cotter. Okay, I hope I was short of the point, but you had about 6 names there that I had to go through. Austin D'Cunha, how are you going? With Patidar in form for RCB, now a settled team. Yes, it is. Patidar, I was very impressed with him. Look, early on, they've been chopping and changing that number 3, which I don't mind. They're just trying to find a perfect fit there. They've been very lucky with the way that Maxwell and AB de Villiers have been batting out 4 and 5 and handling that pressure. But just giving those opportunities and giving Patidar another opportunity has just been a great move from RCB. And now I think they have found their balanced team with Sam's coming in that lower order. Patidar making runs up out number 3 just allows that lower order to you don't have to have as many batting all-rounders down that lower order. You've got better batting depth up the top of order, which they haven't had over the last couple of years or throughout the whole IPL. Should RCB have sent in Sams or Jamison instead of Sundar yesterday? That's a very good point, Austin. I would have sent Sams in front of Sundar. I just think he's got a bigger hitting range. He's got more muscle. I would have sent both of them in front of Sundar the other day because they've probably got more scope to find the boundary than what Washington Sundar has. Sundar, a quality all-rounder, but you've got to look at your stocks, and I don't think they utilise their stocks there in the back end as appropriately as they should have. Do you think captaincy pressure made Pant play out of his natural game? No, I thought Pant played. Pant played extremely well last night. He didn't get overawed by the pressure. He just took the game right to the end. It was more the running between the wickets between him and Shaw at the start that he's got to look at. Yes, he knows that he's got that power going to finish it off, but you don't want to back that power game all the time and think that you could just push the ones and push the dots and prevent wickets out the start. You still got to rotate the strike, put the pressure on the bowler out the other end, and that's what AB de Villiers did well. He got the ones and twos, but when the 4-ball was there, he put it away, whereas Pant didn't do that early on in his innings. He locked up, so he could probably change his way there. And Pant captaincy, people are going to have a crack at him about bowling Stoinis in that last over. Look, Stoinis went for 23. I think it was 23, around about that. Yeah, you can say it's a poor choice with what's happened in the game. But before that, Stoinis had bowled 8 overs in games where it's 8 times that he's bowled the 20th over in a game, and that's the only time he's gone over 12. So it wasn't such a bad decision from Pant last night. It just happened that Stoinis had a bit of a bad over. Okay, next question. Good question there, Austin. Shazwat Jar, thanks you very much for your donation. Bahar, I hope you're safe in Bahar there. Doesn't sound too good in that particular region from what I've heard, but thank you very much for getting on board, and I hope you're really enjoying the IPL, and I hope it's giving you a little bit of a lift out there. If you have to choose any one player for the upcoming Indian T20 squad, World Cup squad, who would you choose, Harsha Patel or Deepak Chahar? I would actually go Harsha Patel at this moment. I just think that you need another option in those middle overs. He's got good variation, but I always like the underdog as well. He's bowled some good death overs as well. He's had one bad game. Chahar, you're more using him as an opening bowler. I just think you've got more options in that Indian lineup with the opening bowler than using Chahar. So for me, Harsha Patel gives you a few more options out that back end that you probably need, which is probably more important than having another opening bowler in your lineup. So for me, Harsha Patel at the moment. That's a tough question, Shazwat. You've really put me on the back burner there. Sandeep77, Pabati, how you going? Hi, Hoggy. What is point of doing so much gym work when they field poorly in and outfields in the ground? I totally agree with you. What were the other catches last night? Padikkal put one down, which was crucial. I think Hetmeyer was 15 off 9. Sundar out in the deep when Pant was in his 20s. You can't afford to have these mishaps out in the middle. You train as you play, and I think they should be doing more outfielding. They've got plenty of time. Well, hang on, let's just go back a bit. How much time have they got to be on that training facility? That's a question you've got to ask. But for me, I think they would have a lot of training to practice their outfield catching and their infield catching. And for me, I think some of the fielding has been quite poor throughout this IPL. And it has cost teams a few games, and it nearly cost RCB a game last night. But in the defence, the ball is a little bit dewy, especially some of the ground fielding. So sometimes you can just be a little bit forgiving there. But when it comes to a catch, the ball's generally dry. It hasn't touched the ground, and you should be taking some of the chances that they've got. Do you think ground fitness something which modern cricketers are lacking? Ground fitness, yes. I think a lot of players today are really working on the fitness. The fitness standards are high. And I was talking to someone about it the other day. I don't think we do enough fielding practice and put it in with our fitness training as well. I think sometimes the fitness instructor is too worried about getting technique right and everything like that. I think, right, we only work about 5 minutes on the technical stuff. Make sure we get fielding under pressure, under duress, and get the fitness in with doing the fielding. And what that does is puts the players under pressure while they're fielding, because they're getting a little bit more lethargic or worn out, and they're fielding under duress, and it tightens up their skills. So it's deep practice. I totally agree with you there, Sandeep77. Get out of the gym, get into the outfield, and work on your fielding a lot more. Actually, I'm just going to go back when I was sorry, Artel Barral. Thanks for getting on board again, and I had a little tweet with you today. Sandeep, going back to Australia, the thing is, we're very competitive. I was a spin bowler, and I should have done less weights than what I did. I had to keep my shoulder more nimble than what I did. But when you get in the gym and you're coming up against the likes of Andrew Simons and such, you're always competitive and you're trying to outlift each other. We're different heights, we're different sizes, but when you get in the gym and combativeness or that competitiveness comes in, sometimes you forget what you're actually doing it for. And I forgot what I was doing the gym for. It was more about body presentation rather than the skills that you use. And I think that's one thing that trainers really got to be on top of players when they first come into the system and they take them into the gym. Make sure that they train them and get them in that mentality that the gym is for improving your skills. The gym is not for you to have a better body to go down the beach. And I think some of the players sometimes get mixed up with what the gym is all about. Sandeep, that is a very good question. We could probably do a whole vlog about that after the IPL. Okay, Shubs, can we get on to Atar Barral's question? Why isn't Virat Kohli switching himself to the beast mode IPL opener, which he is known for? Actually, that's a pretty good question. But you look at RCB at the moment, from what I could see with the stats that I've got at the moment, RCB have got the highest run rate, I think, in the power play overs so far in this IPL. So at the moment, the partnership between him and Patekal are working sensationally, perfectly, brilliantly, setting it up so that Maxwell and de Villiers just can come in and do what they do best in the middle overs. So for me, I don't think he has to change his game plan out at the moment, because he's set it up so that AB de Villiers and Maxwell and the other big hitters don't have to try and catch up with a run rate that is behind the 8 ball out the start. So for me, I think RCB are very well set up. Kohli's doing his role. Patekal's doing his role. Patidar in the middle is, I've got that right, yeah, Patidar out the middle is in 3 is doing his role. RCB are looking the bee's knees right now. The only issue that I've got with RCB is getting Sam's fully fit and fully accustomed to a lot more IPL pressure out in the middle. That's probably their only hole at the moment. Virat Kohli, I don't want him to change his mode of batting at the moment, but if it has to do it, he's got another gear to go up to. That's a good observation, Atal. Good observation. Put me on the pump. I hope you got that other question that you sent me through on Twitter too. Hopefully Shubs behind can find that question for me. Hi, Hoggy. This is Savita Divaraj. How are you going, mate? I'm a big fan from Mumbai. Can you explain this bubble fatigue due to which many of the players are leaving to their hometown? Most of the players are Australians. Well, yeah, I totally agree with you, Australians. Savita, I'll just have a quick drink. Sorry about that little thing that came through the microphone there. Australians coming home with a bubble fatigue. Yeah, a lot of the players have been in the bubble for a very long time, but the ones that have come home haven't really been in a big bubble as such. They've had a little bit of freedom, but I think the thing with the Australians is that the Prime Minister has cut flights back from India to Australia with everything that's going on. And we see that Richardson, or from the last bit of news that I've had, Zampa and Richardson are still stuck in Mumbai, and it doesn't look like they'll be getting out anytime soon. So for me, if I was RCB, I'd be trying to get them back into their squad at the moment. I don't know whether they can get them back in or not. So they might have a change of plan. It'll be a little bit better for them to get back in there. So for me, it's more about the time they've spent in it and the time that they've spent away from their families. That's the big concern. And yes, we're in different times at the present moment. And yeah, it's tough whether it's the right or wrong decision to come home. It's only the way that they feel, their environment, that they can decide what's best for them. And you know, if they make that decision, whether they stay or go, it's up to them. I don't think with the times that we've got at the moment, I don't think we can really get on the back of people sort of wanting to go home, especially with the restrictions that have been increased with flights coming out of India. But if we're in normal times, and when we're in normal times, I get tired of players pulling out of the IPL when they're fully fit, and they say that they're doing it for family reasons. If you've got to plan your life around that. You put yourself in the auction. You've made that commitment. You've got to uphold that commitment. You can't pull out of it. That's where I get disappointing. But at the moment, with the different times that we've got in the world and the pressures that we've got in with restrictions and everything, I can understand why players are leaving at this stage. And I won't criticise that, because they're doing that. They're putting their family first, which is sad in a sense. But well done to the players that are staying there and delivering the goods and entertaining us. I'm just loving that they're staying there, because they're in probably the safest environment that you could probably be in the world at the present moment, in those bio bubbles. Good question there, Savita. Really putting me on the pump there today. Sohama Aurora, how are you going? Who should open for India in the T20 World Cups, as there are 3 contenders, Rohit, Darwin, Rahul, and all of them look in top form. Well, you've got to go with Darwin first. You've got to give him one more go. I thought he was out of the picture with the way that he played earlier on against England. So I'd give him one more crack the way he's gone now. And Rohit Sharma. But I'd throw another one in there, and he hasn't done that well in there at the present moment. Ishan Kishan. I just like the left-hand, right-hand combination out the top of the order, especially with the power play. It just slightly puts the bowlers off their radar as well. With Rahul, I think he's always going to be the backup keeper. He doesn't have a consistent strike rate to have him in that lineup at the present moment. You've got Surya Kumar, Yadav, Ishan Kishan, Iyer, all these youngsters coming through, the Pandya boys, when they're on song. They've got a higher strike rate than Rahul. Rahul, for me, in T20 cricket is more of a backup in your squad than a frontline player. As much as I love him, he's my first pick in the other formats, but not the T20 format, just because of that strike rate. Thanks very much, guys. Sorry for being so late on the live today. We had a few problems, but you can follow me on Twitter at Brad_Hogg and Instagram at Brad_Hogg. Thanks very much for joining me. Have a good day, stay safe, and CSK to win tonight.